welcome to the show. And once again, we have a fabulous lineup of guests to energise and inspire you.
It's time to wake up your wow with your host, international award-winning speaker, Cath Vincent.
On the show tonight, we hear the extraordinary story of New Zealand's most notorious car thief turned motivational speaker. Image consultant Helen Gwynn explains the 6 clothing personality types that determine what you wear. And music journalist Andrew Smith invites you to take up the perfect hobby with free concert tickets, drinks and VIP status. And in the Wild Records music slot, the expert fingers of guitarist Chet O'Connell pick out an uplifting instrumental piece. All this and more to wake up your wow. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Cath, for having me here.
Now, you've been described as New Zealand's most notorious car thief.
Yes, that would be right back in the 90s, late 80s and early 90s I was.
Yeah. So what was going on in your life that you got into crime?
Well, we go right back to the early 70s. My mother and father wanted to save for their own home, and the only way for them to do that was for my mum to go back to work, and there was nowhere for me to go and stay. So they stuck me at a place where there was a pedophile, and some horrible things happened to me.
Wow, okay,
As a
that's
child.
huge. And so that started you on a path. What happened next?
Certainly did. I started to mix with the wrong crowd. I had an anger problem. My parents didn't believe what I was saying. At the age of 3, you don't know the difference between right and wrong. As you get a bit older, you start to figure it all out, and you tell them what goes on. And
so you were telling your parents that you were being abused at this house?
Yes.
And they didn't believe you?
That's right. Mm-hmm. Totally correct.
Yeah.
And of course, one thing leads to another, and you mix with the wrong crowds, and you start getting yourself into trouble.
Yeah. And so, what happened? What age were you when things started to go wrong, go into crime?
Well, I think when I was 7 was probably the first thing. I burnt the library down at school.
I know that's not funny, but it sounds funny.
Yeah, it wasn't funny because I had marks on my backside for quite some time.
Wow.
My teachers used to stand me up in front of the class and make me read. And I read from the right to the left, not the left to the right, like normal people.
Yeah.
It's okay if you're reading a Quran, but
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And so you were reading back to front, and people were making fun of you.
Yes, this is totally correct.
And that's why you burnt the library down.
Yes. I thought if I could get rid of the books, I wouldn't be able to read. Didn't have to read.
Oh.
But instead, we moved area.
And so how old were you when you started getting into crime? You know, you were actually getting in trouble with the law.
We shifted from Mangere. I grew up in Mangere. We shifted from there to Manariwa. And once again, I started mixing with the wrong crowds, and we started just petty crimes, silly stuff. And then when I was walking home from karate one evening, I got picked on by a few kids, and I had a set of nunchuckers in my bag. I pulled them out and I hit a couple of the guys. And 3 days later, the police turned up on my doorstep at home. Mm-hmm. And of course, I owned up to it. And when I was 16, I got sentenced to 3 months corrective training.
Right.
And I met up with a gentleman there who was a car thief. I went in for an assault, and I gave him my phone number and everything, and he looked me up when I got out.
Wow. So actually you came out a lot more experienced in crime than when you went in.
I certainly did.
Yeah.
I was very, he taught me everything,
Wow.
told me all about it, and once you're in that life, it's pretty hard to get out of.
Yeah, I'd say. And how many cars did you steal?
Oh, well over 200.
Wow. And then when you got sentenced, the judge actually, what did the judge say to you?
Yes, he says if you are able to stick all your negative energies into positive, you'd actually be a genius.
Wow. Because isn't it true that you have quite a high IQ?
Yes, it is. I've got an IQ of 163.
And what is the normal range? I'm not sure.
The IQ, most people's IQ is about 120.
Yeah.
President Obama has got an IQ of 160.
Right.
So
And how old were you when you went to prison?
I was 16 when I first went to prison, and it wasn't a nice place. As a young youth, you walk into these concrete walls and you look around and you think, my gosh, what have I got myself into? Yeah. But you soon harden up to it.
Yeah, so it would fundamentally affect you.
It certainly did. When you get out, it takes a while to readjust to to the outside world.
And how long were you in prison for?
The first time I was in for 3 months. The last one I got sentenced to 4 years, 10 months, and done 3 years of it.
Wow.
That was for the cars.
And just from an emotional point of view, you know, how did it affect you inside?
Made me emotionally hardened. They say real people cry. I didn't know how to cry. Not until my wife got sick.
Yeah.
She got breast cancer, and I cried for 3 days solid.
Yeah.
After that.
And what happened to her?
What happened to her? She's still with us. Great thing.
Thankfully.
She's my rock.
Yeah.
And we've got 3 lovely kids. Not one of them's ever been in trouble. And it wasn't until 4 years ago that I took them along to one of my speeches, and they found out all about me.
Wow.
And they were blown away.
That's fantastic. You've actually affected the course of generations to come.
I hope so. That's what I want to do.
But you really turned your life around, and you know that's one of the reasons that your story is so inspirational. So tell us a bit about the turning point.
The turning point in my life was I actually got educated. The jail system actually done something for me. I was able to get taught the right way to read and write. I left there with school cert and a diploma in business management, so I didn't waste my time.
Wow.
And helped change my attitude.
Yeah. And then how did you get from there to actually being a motivational speaker and getting on the stage?
Well, yeah, that was I was actually managing a computer shop, and I was standing at the counter one morning, and this gentleman fell off his push bike in the door. And of course I was laughing. I thought it was funny, but I went over and helped him up. And this gentleman, I did not realise, run a speakers bureau. One evening his computer stopped functioning, and he rang me up. So he came around home at about 10:30, and he seen some boxing trophies I had, and started asking me about my past. I started telling him exactly what had happened to me as a kid, and before I knew it, a couple of weeks later, he had me standing up in front of 400 teachers and principals at Henderson School.
Wow, so you literally went from not speaking at all to standing on a stage in front of 400 people.
Yes, I did. Not only that, when I did my talk, at the end of it, a teacher came up to me at the end of it, and she was crying. She stuck her arms around me. She remembered me from the school I burnt the library down at school.
Oh, how gorgeous. How gorgeous. And tell me, what are you working on right now?
Okay, what I do at the moment is I do a lot of work with a couple of organisations. One's Duffy Books and Homes. We get out and I'm a role model for them. I go out and talk to the kids, stand up on stage, tell them it's cool to read and cool to achieve, which is great. We get them up on stage, make them do stuff that they reckon they can't do. They use that word can't. The word is can people. You can do whatever you want to do when you want to do.
And I notice on your shirt, tell us what it says on your shirt right there.
Yes, it says success comes in cans, not in cannots.
I love that.
Yes, this is my logo. That's like my Bible, and I live my life by it.
And tell us, what are your goals now going forward?
Well, by 2020, I would have liked to have spoken to 80% of New Zealand schools, make the kids believe in themselves. I don't believe that children should go through what I did as a child, so I want to make them believe in themselves, believe that they can read, believe that they can write, and they can succeed. I actually have a jacket here for you.
Thank
with
you.
My logo on it.
Oh,
I'd like to present that to you.
What a fabulous present. Thank you. Which one are we looking at? Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. I think everybody should be wearing that motto every day.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well, listen, Mark, thank you so much for coming in and inspiring us here in the studio. And we wish you every success with your work with youth.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, image consultant Helen Gwynn on your clothing personality. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here, and also my daughter. She was so excited.
Mummy's on TV.
Mummy's on TV.
Do you want to wave to your daughter?
Hi, Anna. But she was so concerned about what I was going to be wearing, and she said, Mum, let me choose your outfit.
How old is she?
She's 9.
Oh, ooh.
I know, and I'm like, I think I'll be fine, Anna. And she's like, no, Mum, I want to choose your outfit. So
she didn't choose your outfit?
Not this one.
No.
She dressed me up, and my husband took a photo, but no, I did choose this one today.
Okay. So, well, actually, we do have that photo. Your husband sent us this photo today.
No. Oh my God.
Tell you what, your daughter has a future in fashion. But listen, you're here today to talk to us about clothing personalities.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's something that absolutely fascinated me when I did my training, because obviously I trained to help people with colour and body image and shape, but part of the training was to learn about clothing personalities. And it was an area that I'd got stuck on myself, because I would look at my girlfriends that just looked incredible every time I caught up with them, and they would put their outfits together. And I guess growing up I would often look at how they did it and copy that, or I'd look at the fashion magazines or what other people were wearing. But actually what happened for me was that I would put an outfit on and then I'd go, oh, I don't feel like me. And then I'd put it back in the wardrobe and go, oh yeah, I'll wear that next weekend. Yeah. And then I'd put it on next weekend and not feel like me. Yeah. And the reason is because it was my colour, it was my style, but it wasn't my clothing personality.
How interesting. Do you know, we've all done that. You know, you see people in, for me, florally, petite kind of, she looks great, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah.
So colour, style, but also personality.
Yeah.
So what kind of personality, how do you know what is your clothing personality?
Okay, so when you come and get your body shape consultation done with me, I actually take you through all the clothing personalities, and you often will identify with two. So one's normally the one that you would wear as your kind of default mood if you're around the house or just being with people you feel comfortable with. But you also have another clothing personality that if you were to go to an event or need to get dressed up for work or something special, you would have that as your other clothing personality.
So tell us a bit more. How many personalities are there?
There's six.
Six, yeah.
Yeah. Would you like me to go through each one?
Totally.
Okay.
I'm dying to find out.
So first of all, we've got the natural casual. So you'll see here Jennifer Aniston,
I like that.
and often when you see photos taken of her, she is in her natural casual. So the natural casual personality loves their jeans. Yeah. They love their sneakers and just a t-shirt or maybe a hoodie. Yeah. They don't tend to wear much jewellery. If they do, maybe like a leather bracelet or a plain chain. Yeah. Don't tend to like high heels, they're just more comfy in their flats. And they're the clothing personality that if you turned up at their house on a Saturday, they'd probably be in their track pants.
Yeah. I might have a bit of that about me, I'm just saying. But I don't look like Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, so next we have got the classic elegant.
I'd like to be that.
So the classic elegant, often in New Zealand you'll find them wearing black. Yeah. They are the personality that just feels most comfortable in black. They feel like black goes with everything. Yeah. But their other favourite colours are beige, grey and white. So they don't tend to wear a lot of colour. They don't want to stand out. They want pieces that aren't going to date and go out of fashion, that they're just timeless. Yeah. And they will pick a shoe that's quite classic looking shoe. They don't like patterns. Yeah. And they...
I don't think this is me, after all.
Yeah, so they're gorgeous woman. So the next one is our next celebrity. So this celebrity...
What am I? You're I like that.
Yeah, you are a Euro chic.
Am I?
Yeah, you are. So the Euro chic woman has possibly been a classic in the past, but they're now in a season of their life where maybe they have been in business or a mother or gone through different seasons.
Season of my life? I know what you're saying.
Yeah. They kind of have a little bit of an edge to them. So it's like a classic with a touch of contemporary to it. So it's that next level of fashion sense without being over the top. So it's a very classy look, and they will try colour and they will try maybe a touch of pattern, but they wouldn't go more than pattern on the shoe, or a lovely necklace just to lift the outfit from being classic to. Next up, we have got Taylor Swift. Now, the dressy feminine clothing personality, they love their lace, they love their frills, they love chiffon and polka dots, and anything that's quite pretty. And they often will have like a soft curl in their hair. They love pink, they love the delicate colours. And so their jewellery will be delicate too, and their handbag will be ornate. And so they're very, love to wear like that personality in what they wear from head to toe.
Yeah, can see that in her,
So next we have got Victoria Beckham, and so you'll know from her own clothing range that she is very dramatic and feels comfortable wearing real statement pieces. So her statement will be in the dress or in the belt, or the dramatic clothing personality will pick something that really stands out. And so whereas the natural casual, they don't like to be seen in a crowd, the dramatic wants people to notice them.
Yeah, can tell that about Victoria,
And next we have the creative adventurous. This is the real fun clothing personality, because the creative woman, she doesn't mind clashing things. So she would wear pink and orange together. She would wear two patterns together. She likes to experiment with how she looks and put different things together that aren't in fashion, but she'll always look amazing. And I've got a friend like this. I'm like, how does she put all of that together and have a necklace, a bracelet, and earrings on with an ornate belt and look incredible? Whereas I would put that on and think, oh, I'm too busy. The creative adventurous woman is, lots of fun.
Isn't that interesting? And does this apply to men as well?
It does apply to men. And I think men possibly struggle a little bit more in terms of the workplace. Like if they are in a place where they've got to wear a shirt and a blazer and a tie, how do you bring the creative adventurous man into that? So he might have a creative tie. And he may have shoes that are really like crocodile skin, or a bit out there. So you can bring it in with the different accessories and
So what would you say to someone who's thinking, gosh, I wonder what I am, and how can I start creating my style?
I think just stop comparing yourself to your friends and find out when you put an outfit on, almost asking that question, do I feel like me? Does this feel like the best version of me?
Oh, that is superb advice. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me, Cath.
Next up, music journalist Andrew Smith on becoming a music reviewer. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you are a music journalist, which sounds to me like you just write about music all day.
Well, it's a part-time job. It's completely voluntary for a website, music.net.nz, and it's a great gig. Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it?
Yeah, pretty much. I just saw it on Facebook. I was just liking anything to do with the music industries, and then they put out the call for reviewers. If you like music, if you're passionate, then you submit a little bit of writing, and if they like it, well, which they did with me, and I'm writing away, and it's great fun.
So tell me, I'm curious about this, because, when people review something, is it not a matter of personal taste?
Yes, you have to try and think in a broad sense, not just your own personal taste. So to be a good reviewer, you don't necessarily have to be a musician. You just have to maybe like a fairly broad amount of music, so that you can just sort of review it and be critical based on the music and how it makes you feel, and if you enjoy it or if you don't. I'm listening to a lot of things that I've never listened to before, but I still enjoy it, and I can still see it from a bigger picture, what other people would think of it. And basically it's a great way. I'd like to think that other people read the reviews and are able to say, okay, that's something I wouldn't have considered listening to, but I might give it a go.
So part of your objective is to help people widen their musical appreciation? Yeah,
at the very least, time. People don't have time to just listen to different types of music all the time, and so I'd like to think again that they could check out the reviews to consider whether or not it's worthy. And obviously the artists themselves are looking for extra exposure, so that to have someone hopefully positively review their music, then they can spread that through their own network to gain some popularity and exposure.
So you say you don't actually have to be a musician to be a reviewer,
right.
but you actually are a musician.
Yes, I mainly play saxophone.
Oh, awesome. I see you have your saxophone here.
I do, yes.
Very sexy instrument. We love the sax. Isn't it really difficult to play though?
Yes, it is. It's a bit tricky to learn. It's called a woodwind. It's not brass. And so yeah, there's a little wooden reed here that you have to squeeze and blow into, and then of course learn the fingering as well.
Oh, I want to play. I really want to play.
Would you like to have a play?
Oh goodness, it might not be a good
See if you can get it to work.
Okay.
That's not bad, not bad.
I quite like it. Yeah, that was better than mine actually.
Only just. Thank you. Totally unrehearsed.
That's great. We've got everyone in the audience go. Da, da. So, do I get the opportunity to review you now? you
Yes,
said
be kind.
You said anyone could do. No, that's brilliant. But listen, who? Tell me some of the people that you've actually reviewed.
Solo Mio and Jihad, Nika Moa, some of the big names. But
Wow.
also do lots of sort of independent artists who are up and coming, and so I might be in a venue where there's only me and two other people,
Wow.
and sometimes I'm like Solo Mio, 7,000 people there, and it was so I do live reviews, plus also people send me albums to review as well.
Tell me about reviewing Solo Mio. How cool is that?
Yeah, it was one of the best gigs that I've reviewed, and as it turned out, Pene brought his girlfriend on stage and proposed to her in front of everyone, and that was a really, the emotion of the whole event was incredible.
Exciting! Wow, that really is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It was great.
Yeah. So are you getting nice free tickets to go to all these things?
Yes, it's the benefits of the gig are you get obviously free tickets, and usually sometimes free drinks and some VIP access, and obviously they send you albums which you can keep. So I've got my album collection has doubled in the last 8 months.
Awesome. Well, hey, and you're looking for reviewers all the time, is that right?
That's right. The website itself needs more reviewers, and so you can just email team@music.net.nz, and they'll send you an application form.
Brilliant. Well, that sounds to me like a wonderful opportunity. Thanks so much for coming in and for bringing your lovely sax with you. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Wild, you're back again.
Great to be here.
Tell me, who's recording in the studio right now?
Right now we have Chet O'Connell, an incredible guitarist, one of my absolute favourite guitarists.
Chet O'Connell, I have seen him play, he's amazing.
You have, he is. And the first time I met Chet was back in 2005, and it was in Hollywood. And he did a show in America
Yeah,
on Hollywood Boulevard in a place called the Knitting Factory, which is a really cool venue, right on Hollywood Boulevard. And he got up and played about 3 or 4 songs with the very famous Tommy Emmanuel, and I was blown away by his guitar playing. So we've featured a lot of singer-songwriters. Now we're going to have an instrumentalist who's also a great singer. But today he's doing an original instrumental piece on guitar.
That he has composed.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, let's hear from the fabulous Chet O'Connell.
Let's do it.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful, upbeat, happy number.
Nice and cheery.
It's really lovely. And what's that called?
Indian Summer.
It just sounds like summer.
And it was. I wrote that quite a few years ago now, but it was. It was. I remember it was another one of those years like this year. We just had a fantastic summer that went on and on. So inspiration in the strangest places.
Yeah, beautiful. And hey, the last time I saw you play, I remember I asked you to sing a Neil Diamond song. You're like, yeah, I've got that in my...
I'm a big closet Neil Diamond fan. If you ever see me do a gig, there's a lot of where it began.
All right.
I can't begin to know it. Don't get me started. We'll be doing a hot August night in a minute.
Oh, I love that, I love that, I love that. Well, hey, you have to stay on afterwards and play for us.
Too right.
But just before you go, tell us, what are you working on right now?
A lot of things coming up. Looking at doing some more recording this year, and like to get another guitar album out. And my wife and I work together a lot. She's a great singer. We're hoping to get another thing there. But just busy playing. You know, I'm blessed that I work with so many great people in this country, so many great artists, and still really enjoying playing music. And I still make a career of just playing music. You know, all genres, all styles, and I'm still pretty lucky that I get to do that. And I'm happy doing it. You know, looks after the family and keeps me on the straight and narrow. Strangely enough,
It's great to make a living out of music, isn't it?
it certainly is. You know, it's what I love, and the fact that you made a career out of it is fantastic. And it's been a lot of hard work, and it's always worked. Like any business you have to keep working at it and putting the time in. And you know, and a lot of it in this industry is being a nice person and getting on with people.
Yeah.
Persistence. That's what it is. If people like you and you get on with people and you do your job well, you'll get the calls.
Yeah,
you'll get good work.
We like you, we love you, and I'm so happy you came in this year.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you. Thank you.
My thanks to all my special guests, to Mark, to Helen, to Andrew, to Jessie Wild, and to Chet. And until next week, don't wait to wake up your wow.
That's not bad, not bad.